And 16% of ICU beds are now available. Both of those numbers are up 2% since yesterday. The city wants to have 20% in both categories in order to move forward with reopening. Also new tonight, there's been a case of COVID-19 confirmed in Perry County schools. The district says that a staff member at Linden Middle School tested positive. They say they are taking precautions and following the CDC guidelines to keep people safe. Well, the number of deaths continue to rise in 25 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. And as those numbers rise, drug companies are now working on potential vaccines and treatments. But Zareen Shah for more on accusations the president is making against the FDA.
More than 175,000 Americans have lost their lives to coronavirus. The CDC saying the death toll in the U.S. could reach 200,000 over the next 3 weeks. Drug companies are working on potential vaccines, with many already being tested in human trials. But President Trump lashing out Saturday morning on Twitter, offering no evidence, accusing the, quote, deep state or whoever over at the FDA of making it very difficult for drug companies to get people in order to test vaccines and therapeutics. Obviously, they're hoping to delay the answer until after November 3rd. We have reached out to the FDA but have not heard back. Meanwhile, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calling his accusation dangerous.
Even for him, it went beyond the pale in terms of how he would jeopardize the health and well-being of the American people and accuse the FDA of politics.
The head of the CDC says it will take cooperation from entire communities to keep kids safe in school as the president pushes for schools to reopen everywhere. More than 200 students in Mississippi testing positive. Thousands more are in quarantine. One elementary school closing 1 week into in-person classes. Crowds at this high school football game in Alabama have the principal discussing changes for future games.
If there's an outbreak, there won't be high school football. I'm worried about my boys and my cheerleaders, my bands having a full season.
College campuses in at least 36 states seeing rises in cases. Notre Dame logging more than 330 cases. An op-ed in the student newspaper with the headline, "Don't make us write obituaries."
It's up to all of us to work together so we don't end up hurt.
After these images of crowded parties at Ohio State University, officials tell ABC News students who host or attend a party or any gathering with more than 10 people will face an interim suspension. At UNC Chapel Hill, classes are canceled this coming Monday and Tuesday, giving students time to move off campus and switch to remote learning. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And the Senior Center in Smyrna hosted an event today to bring a smile and some food to their members. Hundreds of seniors haven't been back to the Senior Activities Center since the COVID-19 pandemic started. So today, directors put together a pack and go event to give 175 members hot meals and goodie bags. The drive-through will take the place of what would normally be a huge fundraiser for the center at their annual spaghetti dinner. The center says this is the most people that have ever RSVP'd to one of their events, and they're hoping it will bring joy to those they haven't seen in months.
We just take it one executive order to the next until we find out. I know that senior centers are the last that will get to open because the senior population is the most at risk for the pandemic. And my goal is that they all stay safe and healthy. And if that means we have to stay closed for a little while longer, it's what we have to do.
Well, the center says the community's response to the pack and go was so overwhelming that each member received 3 goodie bags this morning. And a worker saved a man's life while she was on the job in Clarksville.